ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. Lately I've been speaking a lot about tragedies. I got one more for you. Two sons of Aaron. Aaron was the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. Two of them died the day the Mishkan, the tabernacle, was inaugurated. Nadav and Avihu. Terrible. Why did they die? Very difficult to know. It says, Bekorvatam lifnei Hashem. When they were nearing God with the sacrifice, they died. The Torah says they used Zara, a strange fire, which is also very difficult to know. What does that mean, really? They were supposed to have waited for fire to descend from heaven and not use the fire that they produced themselves. Very difficult to know. Right after that, the Torah says that a Kohen cannot go in to sacrifice, to offer a sacrifice, when he has drunk wine before, if he is a little bit high. He shouldn't do that. Maybe then our rabbis think, maybe the two sons of Aaron had a little too much to drink before they came to the Mishkan. Why did they do that? Maybe to get into a certain ecstasy. And the Torah is telling us, don't use any artificial drugs to go to a different emotional stage. Your heart, your own emotions should bring you to that, not something artificial. Some of our rabbis say, maybe, you know what? They were deciding matters of law in the presence of Aaron and Moshe. Because they felt already, these two people, they're very old. We are going to take over soon, so we might just as well start now. Well, they were disrespectful of their elders. Maybe that's why they died. Others suggest they weren't married. Why weren't they married? They thought they're too good. They're too good for any Jewish girl, because they are, after all, the sons of Aaron, the nephews of Moshe. They are nobility. There's nobody that is good enough for them. Whatever the reason is, we see that unfortunately tragedy occurred at the very moment when the Mishkan was being dedicated. What was the reaction of Aaron? The Torah says, Vayidom Aaron. Aaron remained silent. What reaction can you have when two of your sons die? There are no words that can express really the pain of a father, the pain of any other human being in front of death. Well, be that as it may, let us look again at the biblical text. It says, Behakrivam lifnei Hashem. When they were close to God, they were already in the right place at the right time. Suddenly, something went wrong. There's a principle in sociology that says, familiarity breeds contempt. We are too familiar with someone. You pal out too much with somebody. After a while, you don't respect them that much. Maybe they were involved too much in this Mishkan already. They knew the inside workings of the Mishkan, and they felt maybe it's commonplace. Somebody that goes into the Beit HaMikdash once in a blue moon, of course, he is impressed by the grandeur, by the edifice, and so on. But a Kohen that works in the Beit HaMikdash every day, after a while, it's commonplace. Have you ever visited Washington, D.C.? I remember the first time I went, and I saw the statue of Abraham Lincoln sitting on a chair. And you stand before him. It's an enormous statue. You realize how small you are. And actually, Abraham Lincoln was a great man. Nowadays we speak about inequality between blacks and whites, but he's the one that abolished slavery in the United States. You know how difficult that must have been. He was a great seer. He was a political prophet, really. A great man. And when you stand before his statue, you really feel insignificant what that man did for this country. What about the person that cleans every day? That cleans the floor. There are tourists there. There must be something or other. Do you think that he has the same reaction to the statue of Abraham Lincoln that you have? Or, let me tell you something else. Supposing you visited already, you go again, and you go again. 2 years later, you go again. Do you think you have the same reaction 2 years later that you had the first time? Because familiarity breeds contempt. I remember the first time I went to Israel. I went on an El Al flight, and as we were approaching, it wasn't called Ben Gurion Airport at the time. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was the same airport on the outskirts of Tel Aviv. You heard on the loudspeaker the Barry sisters sing Heveinu Shalom Aleichem. You know, it moved you. You know, you were going to Israel for the first time. You were going to touch the land that Abraham sojourned, Isaac, Jacob, the prophets made it their land. You were going back thousands of years in history. Tremendous feeling. To this day, when I go to Israel, there's something inside me that reacts to it, but it's not comparable to the first time. There's only one first time. So maybe what the Torah is teaching us, that when you become too familiar with something, you tend somehow to lose respect for it. And what you have to try to do is to stand in awe before God each and every time as if it were the first time. You go to the synagogue to say your prayers. You say it almost mechanically. You go to the synagogue every day. Some of us who do. And you say the same prayers. Can you say it with the same fervor? Can you say it with the same intensity? After a while you lose it. So maybe you need a doses of remembrance. Tell yourself, you know, this is really the first time. You have to tell yourself, I am standing before God in this moment. This is a unique moment. I stood before Him yesterday. That was another moment. This is a new moment. This is as if I was born again. So bear in mind, maybe that the death, the premature death of the two sons of Aaron came to teach us that we should not lose the sense of awe and admiration, of respect, because we become familiar with something. But if something is important, if there is truth to it, each and every time, we should approach it with the same freshness as we did the first time.